so I smoked crack and stuff with my parents and stuff when I was younger, but it just turned out not to be my thing. I was introduced to crystal meth at 16, and it was no turning back. From that moment forward, I ended up being an 18-year meth addict, intravenous meth addict user. I shot
Can
dope.
you recall the first time that you tried meth, and who was the person that introduced you to it?
So I remember I was first introduced to it from a friend's mother, actually. They had lived in a little townhome over off Terry Road, and we were over there, and I remember going to sit at the kitchen table with them, and they had some meth on the table and some spoons and needles and some scales and some baggies and stuff. And I sat down and I said, "What y'all doing?" And they started telling me, what this is, and they was fixing them up a shot. And I remember her saying, "You want me to make you one?" I said, "Yeah, let me try it out." Because by this time, intravenous drug use was in my face every day. I didn't really see no big deal about it. So I wanted to try it out too. And so I tried it out, and it stuck. It's one of those things that I never should have tried. You know what I mean? So from that moment forward, I was a meth addict, man. There just wasn't no ifs, ands, buts about it. Then I remember I turned 18, and so my juvenile record was gone. I remember one time when I was 17 years old, I attempted to go into the Marines. I went to, had a buddy of mine so I'm from South Jackson, right? Well, my parents, though, for a while, like I said, we moved every 3 months or so, and then we moved to Rankin County. We stay over there 3 months, and then move to another house, and then we come back to Jackson. And then we'd have to move again, so we back and forth. Then we started being back and forth between Rankin County and Jackson, just wherever we could find a place to live because they couldn't pay bills. When I was 17, we was living in Rankin County, and a buddy of mine's dad came over because he'd been watching. He lived right across the street from my uncle and aunt, and he's a really good dude. His name was Sam, just one of the best men you could ever meet. But he went out his way to try to help me because he saw the environment I was living in, right? And he come over to my house one morning with an Army recruiter. And so they talked to me, and he talked to me about, Benny, I live right here. I know what's going on, but here's you an opportunity to get away. And I loved it. And so I went and took the ASVAB test, and I swore in one time. I don't know how it is now, but back then you had to swear in twice, I think. Before I swore in the second time, they turned me down for my juvenile record. My juvenile record came back, and I had like 200 house burglaries on it.